Hello everyone. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss about what is mean by correlation and correlogram. So let us see first what is mean by correlation. So it is a mathematical tool that can be used to compare two signals. Okay. So here from the value of correlation, we can get the measure of similarities between the two waveforms being compared. Okay. And the second is the correlogram. So basically this is the graph, or we can say the plot of amplitudes of one signal plotted against the amplitude of the other signal. Okay. So here the amplitude of one signal are plotted on the x-axis and the corresponding amplitude of the other signals are plotted on the y-axis. Okay. So this correlogram helps to determine whether the two signals are correlated or not. Okay, so let us see first the correlogram of continuous time signals. Okay, so for that let us consider the two signals x of t and y of t. Okay, which are plotted separately with time. We can see in the figure 7.1.1. So from the waveform it is clear that here the two waveforms are identical and they are in phase. Okay, so now plot the magnitude of x of t on the axis as minus a by 2, 0 and a by 2, and plot the corresponding magnitude of this y of t as on the y-axis of the correlogram. So here join the points to get a straight line passing through the origin and inclined at 45 degree with respect to the positive x-axis. Okay, so here we can see individual signals x of t and y of t. Here both signals are sinusoidal waves. Then after that here we have to draw the correlogram of this x of t and y of t. So here we can see the amplitude of x of t is from 0, then a, then after that it is for a by 2, then it will go towards the amplitude a. Okay, and for y, which is having again same amplitude, that is minus a, then we can say minus a by 2, like this. Okay, so here at the end we will get here graph that is the straight line which is passing through the origin and inclined at the 45 degree with respect to the positive x-axis. Okay, so here this correlogram is a straight line which indicates that the signal x of t and y of t are strongly correlated. Okay, and secondly the correlogram of continuous time signal is continuous time signal. Okay, so let us see how to plot the given correlogram of the signal. The first step is we have to plot here x of t and y of t. So let us see here, this is x of t which is a sine wave with the peak amplitude a, which is having frequency f and 0 phase shift, whereas y of t is equal to a cos 2 pi of t. So here is equal to a sin 2 pi of t plus 90 degree. So here this y of t also be the sine wave with the same amplitude and frequency that of x of t, but which is having a phase lead of 90 degree. Okay, so here this x of t and y of t are plotted in the diagram 7.1.1a. Okay, so here we can see this is the diagram for 7.1.1a. Okay, then next step is to prepare a table which is used for x of t and y of t values. So let us consider t is the time period of x of t and y of t such that we know that t is nothing but it is the reciprocal of frequency, that is t is equal to 1 by f. So calculate x of t and y of t at various values of t. For example, let us consider first value t is equal to t by 8. So x of t is equal to a sin 2 pi of t. This is the standard equation of the sinusoidal form. Okay, so here we have to put the value of t is equal to t by 8. So here a sin 2 pi into 1 by t. The value of f is nothing but 1 by t, that is it is the reciprocal of time period. So we can write f is equal to 1 by t into the value of t is equal to t by 8. So here this will becomes a cos pi by 4. Okay. we know that the value of pi by 4 is 0.707. So here we will get the value of x of t is equal to 0.707 a. Okay, then after that we have to calculate here the value of y of t. So we have to perform again same process, a cos 2 pi f t. We have to put again the value of t is equal to t by 8 and the value of f is 1 by t. So the equation become a cos in bracket 2 pi 1 by t into t by 8 is equal to a sin pi by 4, that is equal to 0.707 a. Okay, so in a similar way we can calculate here the value of x of t and y of t for the various values of t as shown in this table. So here the values of t are varies from 0 to t, that is 0, t by 8, t by 4, 3t by 8, t by 2, 5t by 8, 6t by 8, 7t by 8 and last t. Okay, so here the angle is also changing from 45 degree, 90 degree, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315 and 360 degree. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the different values of x of t and y of t. Okay, then after that third step is to plot the correlogram. Okay, so here the correlogram is shown in this given figure, that is 7.1.b. So this correlogram is a circle which showing that there is a strong correlation between x of t and y of t. Okay, so if we see the signals x of t and y of t, then we can see here the x of t is the sinusoidal signal and which is having sine function, and y of t is a cos function. Okay, so here we have to correlate x of t and y of t. Okay, and after this we can observe that here the correlogram is showing which show that there is a strong correlation between x of t and y of t. So this is the second diagram of this correlogram. Okay, then after that we are going to discuss about what is meant by energy and power signals. Okay, so in first unit we have already discussed what is meant by energy and what is meant by power signals. Okay, a signal is called as power signal if its average normalized power is non-zero and finite, and the concept of this average normalized power has been explained in previous section. So it has been observed that almost all the periodic signals are power signals. Okay, then the energy signal which is having the finite non-zero total normalized energy which is called as energy signal. So the normalized energy has been also defined in previous section. So it is observed that almost all the non-periodic signals defined over the finite period are energy signals. Okay, so as these signals are defined over a finite period, they are called as time limited signals. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about what is meant by ESD, that is energy spectral density. Okay, so before that we must know that what is meant by spectral density functions. Okay, so here we will categorize signal and systems by concentrating on the energy or the power of the signal. So in order to do so let us get introduced to a new term which is called as spectral density. Okay, so this the spectral density of a signal is defined as it is the distribution of energy, or we can say power per unit bandwidth as a function of frequency. Okay, so this spectral density of energy signal is called as energy spectral density, while that of the power signal is called as power spectral density. Okay, so let us see first what is meant by energy spectral density. So according to the Rayleigh energy theorem, the total energy of a signal is given by E is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of f square into df. Okay, so this means that the energy of signal is x of t is a result of energies contributed by all the spectral components of the signal x of t. So thus it is possible to obtain the energy of the signal x of t by calculating the area under the square of its amplitude spectrum x of f. Okay, so the Rayleigh energy theorem is not just provide the useful method of evaluating the total energy, but it also tells us that x of f square can provide us the distribution of energy of signal x of t in the frequency domain. Okay, so let us define ESD. So here, therefore, the squared amplitude spectrum, that is x of f square, is called as the energy spectral density, or we can say energy density spectrum. It is basically denoted by psi of f symbol, which is equal to mod of x of f square. Okay, so this is the energy spectral density function. Then there are some properties of the ESD. Let us see the first property. So here the ESD of an energy signal x of t is a non-negative real valued function of frequency. That means जो भी ESD का वैल्यू होगा आपका, वो कभी भी ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल टू 0 होगा फॉर ऑल वैल्यूज ऑफ f. ओके, सो हियर वी कैन राइट psi of f is greater than or equal to 0 for all values of f. ओके, उसके बाद ही ये आपका नॉन निगेटिव रियल वैल्यूड फंक्शन बनेगा. सो दिस इज बिकॉज psi of f is equal to mod of x of f square, that is a square of the amplitude spectrum which cannot be negative. अगर आपका वैल्यू निगेटिव होता है तो यहाँ पे मॉड में जाके वो आपका अगेन पॉजिटिव वैल्यू ही बनेगा. सो दैट्स वाई द स्टेटमेंट इज द एनर्जी स्पेक्ट्रल डेंसिटी ऑफ एन एनर्जी सिग्नल एक्स ऑफ टी इज अ नॉन निगेटिव रियल वैल्यूड फंक्शन ऑफ द फ्रीक्वेंसी. ओके, देन आफ्टर दैट लेट अस सी द सेकंड प्रॉपर्टी. Here the ESD of a real valued energy signal x of t is an even function of frequency. That means psi of f is equal to psi of minus f. Okay, it means what here? Here it should be the even function, and we know that here the expression of even function is what? X of t is equal to x of minus t. Okay, if this will satisfy, then we can say this is the even function. ओके, और उसके जगह अगर x ऑफ t इज इक्वल टू माइनस ऑफ x ऑफ माइनस t आपका सिग्नल आता है, देन वी कैन से इट इज अ ऑड फंक्शन. ओके, सो हियर वी कैन से psi ऑफ f इज इक्वल टू psi ऑफ माइनस f. सो दिस इज ट्रू बिकॉज द एम्पलीट्यूड स्पेक्ट्रम mod x of f of a real valued signal is symmetric even function of f. That means mod of x of f is equal to mod of x of minus f. Why? Because mod में आपको पता है कि अगर आपका सिग्नल निगेटिव भी होता है तो वो आपका पॉजिटिव ही कंसिडर होगा. सो दैट्स वाई इट विल फॉलो द इवन फंक्शन ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसी. ओके, सो दिस इज द सेकेंड प्रॉपर्टी. लेट अस सी थर्ड प्रॉपर्टी. सो द टोटल एरिया अंडर द कर्व ऑफ ESD ऑफ एन एनर्जी सिग्नल x of t is equal to the signal energy. That means total energy is equal to E. The area under psi of f is equal to minus infinity to infinity psi of f into df. So again we know that what is the value of psi of f. Here the psi of f is nothing but it is the energy spectral density which is denoted by psi of f, and which is equal to mod of x of f square. Okay, so this is the standard equation of ESD. Okay, so we have to put this value in the above equation. So we'll get minus infinity to infinity psi of f df as it is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, the value of psi of f is equal to mod of x of f square into df. Okay, so here according to the Rayleigh theorem, this integration minus infinity to infinity mod of x of f square into df is equal to total energy E. Okay, so that's why we can say the area under psi of f is equal to the signal energy is equal to E. Okay, then after that let us see fourth property. So here when an energy signal x of t is passing through the LTI system, so here the energy spectral density, that is ESD, of the output signal is equal to the product of ESD of the input and square amplitude response of the system. So here we can see let us x of t be the input which is given to the LTI system, that is h of t, and it will produce the response or output, that is y of t. Okay, so here this property state that psi 0f, that means here we can say this psi 0f is equal to the product of energy spectral density of the input, that is equal to h of f square into the square amplitude response of the system. Now that is h of f square. Okay, and here psi of I is the input signal. Okay, that is, we can say, the energy spectral density of the input. Okay, so here let us see the proof of the given statement. So here we know that this h of t be the impulse response of an LTI system. Okay, so here we can write the y of t is equal to x of t into h of t. Why? Because this star denotes the convolution term, and we know that here the x of t is the input signal and LTI system is h of t, and it will produce the output as y of t. Okay, so as a result, at the output side we will get the convolution of the two signal, that is x of t and h of t. So here we can write down y of t is equal to x of t star h of t. So where this star represent the convolution of x of t and h of t. Then after that we have to take the Fourier transform of both the sides. So this y of t becomes y of f is equal to x of f into h of f. Okay, so this is the property of Fourier transform. In that we have studied that if we take the convolution of two signal which are in the time domain, then at the receiver side, or we can say after taking the Fourier transform, it will converted into the product of प्रोडक्ट इन सिंपली एच डोमेन. ठीक है, मतलब अगर आपका सिग्नल का कन्वोल्यूशन होता है टाइम डोमेन में, तो अगर आप उसका फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म लेते हो तो उसके बाद वो आपका कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा सिंपली प्रोडक्ट में. ओके, सो हियर इट विल कन्वर्टेड इनटू वाई ऑफ एफ इज इक्वल टू एक्स ऑफ एफ डॉट एच ऑफ एफ. ये आपका आएगा फ्रीक्वेंसी डोमेन में. ओके, सो दिस इज बिकॉज द कन्वोल्यूशन इन टाइम डोमेन गेट्स ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्म इन द फ्रीक्वेंसी डोमेन. Okay, then after that we have to take the square amplitude of the both the sides. So we'll get y of f is equal to square is equal to h of f square into x of f square. Okay, so here this y of f square, that means psi 0 of f, that means ये आपका आउटपुट के टर्म में आएगा, is equal to h of f square into psi of I into f. So this psi of 0f, that means energy spectral density of output y of t, and psi of IF is equal to energy spectral density at input x of t. Okay, hence it is proved. So we can say for an energy signal x of t which is passing through the linear time invariant system, the energy spectral density of the output signal is equal to the product of energy spectral density of the input and square amplitude response of the system. Hence it is proved. Then let us see the last property of energy spectral density. So here for an energy signal x of t, the autocorrelation function and energy spectral density form a Fourier transform pair. That means we can write R of tau will form Fourier transform pair with the psi of f. Okay, so this psi of f is nothing but the energy spectral density. Okay, and R of tau is the autocorrelation. Okay, they will form here the one transform Fourier transform pair. So this is the last property. So there are total 5 properties of the energy spectral density. The first is, we can see here, the energy spectral density of an energy signal x of t is a non-negative real valued function of frequency. That means psi of f is greater than or equal to 0 for all values of f. The second property is that the ESD of a real valued energy signal x of t is an even or symmetric function of frequency. That means psi of f is equal to psi of minus f. Then third property, the total area under the curve of ESD of an energy signal x of t is equal to the signal energy. That means minus infinity to infinity psi of f df is equal to capital E, that is total energy. Then the fourth statement is that when an energy signal x of t is passing through the LTI system, then the energy spectral density of the output signal is equal to the product of ESD of the input and square amplitude response of the system. And last property is, for an energy signal x of t, the autocorrelation function and energy spectral density form a Fourier transform pair. Okay, so these are the properties of energy spectral density. So this is all about our today's session. I hope you will like and enjoy. We will stop here with motivational quote. Today's motivational quote for you is, the best project you will ever work on is you. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.